Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week: investigation into the massive blaze at Target Steel and Sea Container. The BC Association of Farmers Markets expanding the nutrition coupon program, but not for Chilliwack. And new owners for the city's largest hotel get the red carpet treatment. And time to crack a cold one. Molson Coors opening its doors this September. Thanks for watching. We are committed to providing local news and news that impacts our local audience in Chilliwack and the surrounding areas such as Agassiz, Harrison, Cultus Lake, Yarrow, and Hope. In addition to the most important news of the week, we will be providing you with the weather for the week and key sports information brought to you by Scott McVetty, who has kindly jumped in and is not only providing our sportscast today, he wrote it. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. But before we do, I'd like to welcome our guest anchor this week, Glenda Standeven. Now the news. Chilliwack Fire and RCMP continued their investigation into that massive blaze at the Target Steel and Sea Container Garage on 4th and Nowell. Witnesses heard two large explosions before thick black smoke rose into the air, and that could be seen for miles. The business repurposes shipping containers and transforms them into living units, office, and storage units. The Alert Ready emergency alerting system was tested in most provinces and territories on May 8th. The loud and rather annoying blast on TV, radio, and compatible wireless devices may be a pain to hear, but it is necessary in case of a natural disaster or emergency. Now, not all mobile devices have been receiving the test alerts in the past, so this testing is going to go on for some time.
The BC Association of Farmers Markets has expanded the nutrition coupon program to help more lower-income households access fresh, locally grown, healthy food. The province provided the association with $750,000 last year to increase the coupon program budget. That works out to $336 provided in weekly coupons for 4 months. However, the province could not tell chillTV why only Mission and Abbotsford were receiving the funding and not Chilliwack or the Eastern Fraser Valley.
The Coast Chilliwack Hotel is going through a transformation, and the Chilliwack Chamber of Commerce welcomed the new owners with their plans and their wallets with open arms. Last week, Chamber members and guests, along with the Mayor Ken Popoff, were at the Coast for a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The Coast becomes the 5th Canadian property to officially become an APA Group signature hotel. That's showcasing new amenities. APA stands for Always Pleasant Amenities and is a Japanese hospitality group that operates APA hotels. APA acquired the Vancouver-based Coast Hotels in 26. That included the Chilliwack Coast Hotel.
And in more red carpet news, September will be a special month for Chilliwack. That is the expected grand opening target for the new Molson Coors brewery in Chilliwack. Ferg Devens with Molson Coors told chillTV that testing of the equipment, tanks, and pumps is underway, and the sign has been painted along the side of the building. You can see it from Highway 1 as you're passing by the Vetter Yale turnoff. The construction of this new $300 million brewery has created 1,000 local jobs. Over 75 to 150 permanent jobs will be at the 36-acre site located along Kerr Avenue in Chilliwack. Construction began in 2016. This brewery will replace the decommissioned plant on Burrard in Vancouver. That site will become, what else? Condos. And when we return, new financial pressure for the city's Alano Club.
The best thing about Hofstede's is their endless supply of muffins and cinnamon buns.
And in a story that's personal to me, last week there was a scare at the Chilliwack Alano Club. A senior, while driving near the club on Nowell and Victoria, had a medical emergency. Her car careened off the Alano garbage dumpster and tore up a section of the security fence. The driver and her passenger, both seniors, are okay. There was no damage to the building itself. Insurance will cover the cost of the fence repair, but the Alano Society will have to pay for the cleanup. The Alano is already under financial duress, so this will prove to be a significant financial strain. The Clean and Sober Gathering Place does not receive funding that's similar to Ruth and Naomi's Cyrus Center or Salvation Army, so this will take a chunk out of their operating budget.
And speaking of Ruth and Naomi's, their family center towers will officially open this week to provide affordable housing to the homeless and low-income earners. Rents start at $650 a month for a bachelor suite. Tenants have already started to move into the 6-story, 36-unit facility. The grand opening is slated for May 10th.
Preparation has started on the playground replacement at Pioneer Park in Agassiz. The current apparatus and pathway have been fenced off by workers, but the rest of the park remains open to the public.
And on the social media front, the communities of Cultus Lake and Kent Agassiz launched their respective new websites on May 1st. The updates were in response to public concerns over reaching community services online.
And now Scott McVetty with all the sports news that matters in the Valley.
Thanks, Don. Today we go from the gridiron to hoops and more hoops. Are you ready for some football? Former Chilliwack Giants and GW Graham football star Logan Buckwitz has been invited to play in the CanadianFootballChat.com Prospects game, which will be broadcast nationally on TSN this June 2nd. 73 teenagers from across Canada, including 9 from BC, have been selected for the showcase. The game will be played in Ottawa's TD Place Stadium, which was host to the 2017 Grey Cup and home for the Ottawa Redbacks. Buckwitz has been assigned to the Team Berris roster, which will be coached by Canadian Football League legend Henry Berris. The other team will be coached by another CFL quarterbacking great, Matt Dunnigan. Players were chosen by a 33-team selection committee, which were made up of current and former Canadian CFL football players. This is a big deal for these young stars, as they are all viewed as having the potential to play in the CFL. Buckwitz, as a receiver, led his GWG Grizzlies to last fall's AA Junior Varsity Provincial Championships and is seen as a potential NCAA Division I recruit. In professional basketball news, the first ever home opener for the Fraser Valley Bandits is scheduled for 7 p.m. tonight at the Abbotsford Centre, where they will take on the Guelph Nighthawks. The Bandits are part of a brand new 6-team Canadian Elite Basketball League, and there's a little social media buzz going on with a signing of a big 7-footer, Dylan Brzezinski. Also in hoops, Chilliwack's Ben Hagel and his BC Royals battled to a bronze medal at the Canadian Wheelchair Basketball League Nationals, which were held last week in Charlottetown, PEI. Hagel and Team BC started out with a 74-66 win over Saskatchewan. British Columbia also defeated Alberta by an 82-63 count on the quarterfinal round, but were knocked out of gold medal contention when they fell 73-66 to Quebec in a semifinal matchup. A Quebec team has gone on to win the tournament for the 3rd straight year, taking out Toronto's Varsity Village with a score of 87-61 in the final. That's it for sports in and around Chilliwack.
I love to shop here. I shop here because I like the way that that's all been presented, the fresh fruit, the vegetables, the multiple selection, and they've got my favorite, German food. I love the atmosphere. I love the people that are around here. So friendly. I love the way that it's all kind of country. It's perfect.
Next in our commentary segment, we have something special. Wendy Graves of the Neurodiversity Listening Society in Chilliwack in an interview with chillTV's Berris Karden discussing April's Autism Month.
Thanks very much, Don. And we have a very exciting segment that we're just trying here now on chillTV News of the Week. And that's our interview segment. And we're such a pleasure to have Wendy Graves here from the Neurodiversity Listening Society. And Wendy, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Wendy, tell us a little bit about the Neurodiversity Listening Society. What's that all about?
We are kind of a brand new small nonprofit specifically serving people in the neurodiversity community, autism, ADHD, mental illness, things like that. And we just started out about 2 years ago, and we're mostly doing peer support online still, and that's us.
And is it just located just in Chilliwack, or is it in other locations as well?
No, I started it out in Chilliwack. That's where I'm located, but we have directors all across Canada, and we serve autistic people from around the world globally.
Now, we had Autism Month just last month, so timing is really good to have you on today. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about some of the misconceptions about autism.
Well, there's a lot of misconceptions about autism. The biggest ones are, you know, that either we are all sort of a Rain Man figure or that we are all severely disabled. And we know that's not true. It's a spectrum. And that's really the biggest misconception.
So there's challenges in society, especially for adults that have autism. What are some of those challenges, and what do you do to sort of overcome those?
Autistic adults' biggest barrier, I would say, is lack of meaningful inclusion. We are a listening society because we want to hear these voices, but most often or not, they are lost. We have trouble with access to school, work, medical, shopping, basically everything. So,
awareness, acceptance, and appreciation. What does that mean to you in terms of autism?
Well, awareness is the big one that people hear all the time, and you know, that was a campaign started a while ago, and that language...
Because we're all aware now.
We're aware, but it's sort of othering language. It's sort of separating us from everybody. Whereas appreciation, you can appreciate the differences, you can appreciate our struggles and our gifts. Awareness doesn't really leave much room for that.
The neurodiversity movement in particular, what exactly does that mean?
That is a term and a movement that was coined to just express that the differences that are found in humans, autism, ADHD, are not deficits or disorders. They're just a natural part of life. It's diversity of humanity. And again, it is a spectrum, and just like the non-autistic spectrum, you can have people with severe disabilities and you can have people with none.
You're talking now to Chilliwack, and before we end our segment, you know, what is one thing that you can tell Chilliwack about autism, or what is one thing that you would like to see evolve or change to make it better?
Basically, everything that we just talked about, better access, both autistic adults and autistic children, to school. That comes with inclusion, that comes with diversity, that comes with appreciating our differences, listening to our voices when we tell everybody what our needs are. You know, the misconceptions about autism need to fade, and the reality of what the autistic spectrum entails is the next step.
So just everybody listening more would benefit everybody. And that goes beyond autism. That goes
It does.
just generally, doesn't it?
Generally,
Yeah.
but especially, you know, these marginalized voices. And, you know, there's other marginalized communities that have come before us with a lot of the same struggles, but they weren't listened to in the same way either. So if everybody can start to listen, we can definitely make more room for access, better meaningful inclusion for both autistic adults, children, families, and we can all move forward together.
Wendy, thank you so much for being on our show today. Really appreciate it. She reached out to us on Facebook, and so thank you so much for doing that.
Oh,
'Cause
no worries.
I feel I learned a little bit more today, and we'll have you on again. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Back to you, Don.
Thanks to Wendy and Berris for that great interview, and hopefully this is another step along the way to increasing awareness of autism in our community. In entertainment, it's taken Lori Paul and Spiderlodge 3 long years to bring their new album to light, and now comes the great unveil. On Saturday, May the 11th at the Royal Hotel, Lori and her band will be performing songs from their 4th album, Palomino. Tickets are $20, including a copy of the brand new CD. And $10 from each ticket will go to the community animal projects to help homeless pets. chillTV weather, spring has finally arrived in the valley, and for the next week or so, expect plenty of sunshine and highs to the mid to upper 20s. And again, Glenda, thank you so much for joining us. Glenda, tell us a little bit more about yourself, especially with the optimists.
Well, I am an active member of the Optimist Club of Chilliwack for over a quarter of a century, and it's been wonderful. We have a teen music songwriting contest coming up, and that's going to be on June 20th at the Lions Riding Club Hall in Spadina at 7 o'clock, and the first 10 teens that apply will be invited to attend and participate. So if they send an email to Optimist Club of Chilliwack, that's Optimist Club of chwk@gmail.com, and let us know if they're interested in being a participant on the contest.
Thanks, Glenda. And thanks for watching Chill TV's News of the Week. And thanks especially to our three guests, Glenda, Standeven, Scott McVetty, and Wendy Graves of the Neurodiversity Listening Society. We really appreciated your involvement, and I know the crew was thrilled to have you here. Now, if you'd like to share the spotlight, even if you've never been on camera before, send us a note to news@chilltv.ca with your CV, and if you have it, links to your video. And if there's something in Chilliwack or the Eastern Fraser Valley you feel we should be reporting on, again, send us an email to the same address, news@chilltv.ca. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.